Friends feeds! You asked for it, and you've got it. More story! When last we spoke, the party hid themselves in a local inn to escape scrutiny from their, escape. Feder engaged in negotiations with his aunt, and Yusuf made contact with his deity, who gave him some cryptic instructions. What is it with deities and riddles? Well, let's not waste another second and hop right back into these Demon Days!
So previously, everyone got stationed at the Nestled Rest, got situated in. Feder had a brief negotiation session with Tiamak, and then both Feder and Yusuf went to look for a shrine to Eldath or something to give Yusuf some either clarity on how to help his friends or what have you, and he was pushed in the direction of finding someone that is a lonely cleric. And we begin as you guys make your way back to the Nestled Rest. You get in. It's just Eloy right now managing, and she acknowledges you both. Nods, mentions that things are good for the time being to you, Feder. She's just like, Docile is out somewhere. Seems to be fine. I'll keep you posted. And then kind of harumps her way back to the evenings, the late evenings cleanings before closing down or just bringing things to a close for the day, leaving you guys pretty much unbothered at the moment as you make your way back to the rooms.
Great. I'll grab a little extra food and drink on the way up, and just to top us off for the night, and head back up. Knock on the door and wait for a second.
What time do we get back?
Well, it's late now, right?
It's like 11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
So a little bit more time has passed. So, Tazlin, there may be a little bit more you can do before they quite reach the door.
I was going to say, has the sword gotten back to me? Has it investigated enough?
It is still taking its time for the evening.
Fine. So
You killed rats.
I killed
So
rats.
It did say, I'll see what I can do.
You had two juicy shopkeepers right in front of you. But sure.
But yeah, before they get there, it's a little bit shy of the evening turning. So it's getting a bit late. And I don't imagine...
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't imagine you were brushing Esvele's hair on your lap the whole time. So if there's anything else you want to do before they show up, now's the time.
No, if she was down and out on the lap, like, I wouldn't have moved.
Okay. Cool. Then you hear the knock on the door. The friendly knock is... You enter?
I just wait for a second.
Okay. There is a wait after the knock.
And I look at
I'm
Yusuf,
like eyeing the door, like,
and I was
what?
like, we should have figured out a knock or something. And then I just will slowly open the door, like very slowly
actually,
open the door.
Because I'm trapped, like, I will grab a pillow or something that's like with it, like,
I'm
easily grabbing
prepared
distance.
to duck. Yeah.
And yeah, as the door starts opening, like,
Duck.
chuck it.
Yeah. As a pillow just hits the wall.
Yeah. I was hoping it would hit Yusuf behind me, but whatever.
You were slowly going through the door. I had full cover.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm like, I'll pick it up and be like, is this yours?
It's ours. Yes, that
very
would be
true.
the term.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no luck yet, but apparently there's some wandering cleric out and about that can help us, but I felt like we should get back to you. I've sent word with a messenger to Talonthane to retrieve our scouts, and hopefully they'll meet us at Hoos, unless they get murdered on the way or something, but I figure we should probably bed down to the night and let the two of you get all your sauce and tricks back.
I don't think I'm going to be going to sleep. I need to... I mean, I could take a short rest. Not trademark short rest, but I could take a short rest. But I need to be up when the sun comes up. Apparently that's when I'm supposed to find this wandering cleric.
Yeah, isn't that going to put you at a supreme tactical disadvantage for the day of ours where we're heading into a bunch of bullshit?
I mean, yes, but if I'm not awake to do it, we're going to miss the opportunity to possibly get her tongue back. So,
yeah, but the tongue can be a long-term goal. When I look at Taslin, I mean, unless there's anything we need from her right now. Listen, all I'm saying is at some point in the very near future, we're going to go to Hoos, we're going to figure out what we know about the tower, and then we're headed towards the tower. The more we let Bonham regenerate, the worse it is for the rest of us. And who knows what the hell is going on with the king. So it's already been a couple days, and I think they were days well spent doing very important things. But
so I get what you're trying to do, Feder, but it's very clear that Yusuf is not always a team player. So if he wants to do what he wants to do, we should let him.
I'm sorry? What is that supposed to mean?
I tried to, like, out of the side of my mouth. It's like, well, things got a little weird at the bathhouse.
Oh.
Well, I mean, yeah, you decided to... There were plenty of chances to communicate prior when we were talking about the plan and, you know, in the moment, reviewing things, and there was never a conversation. You just...
No, there wasn't.
From you, there wasn't.
Okay, ask what you're going to ask, because I'm not sure where or what we're talking about. I just know that I'm being singled out again. So.
Again?
How am I not a team player, Taslin?
I thought I made that clear. We had a whole conversation going into the bathhouse where, as a team, we came up with potential ideas. There was no conversation there. We're in the bathhouse reviewing. I double check, ask you for a possibility of a thing, you know, to sell it. And instead of, again, engaging in a conversation with me about it, it was just an instant shut off. Especially with somebody that I've been working fairly close to, knows more about my own secrets, and you're not willing to have a conversation with me. Instead, you'd rather look at me like I was dead to you.
Oh, you're talking about the... Yeah. No, I was willing to go along with it. That's why I was starting to play along, but then you said, no, we'll do something else.
You were willing to go along with it after you looked at me like I was a piece of trash.
I don't believe I was asked until that point whether or not I'd be willing to fool around for show.
I asked...
You two had a conversation apparently, but I was never asked about it.
So I can absolutely understand whether we do or do not remember the conversation prior, but in the bathhouse, I asked about it instead of just launching into it because that matters to me. And that wasn't a conversation you were willing to have. I would think that after the amount of time that we've been traveling together, saving each other's lives, learning each other's secrets, and being in this environment together, at least a conversation would have happened.
We were already walking into the room. There wasn't time for a conversation. We had walked through the doorway, and you said, so in order to sell this, we're going to have to basically fuck. Like,
Are
is that
you
okay
with that?
Are you okay with that? And we were kind of past the point where I could be okay with that or not, because we were walking into the room to do it.
We weren't walking into the room to do it.
We had crossed the threshold into the water when it was happening.
We were getting undressed.
You can always know about I know the whole thing is a very sticky subject with you because of your time in Kenya, but like we can improvise. We're happy to do it. Like
if it was something that you didn't have a choice about, I wouldn't have asked, and I wouldn't have ever put you in that situation.
It didn't feel like there was much of a choice. It felt like this is the plan. Are you going to go with it? And I'm sorry if that came off as ill-received by me. But being made to do that on someone else's whim for a very long time, yes, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Made to do on somebody else's whim? When have I ever made you do it on somebody else's whim?
You haven't.
I think he's talking about...
You never have until now. And you didn't. It was a reaction that I had, and I'm sorry about that. And he kind of gets, like, real, like, introspective. And he's like, no, you actually gave me a choice. I didn't feel that way, though. I'm sorry.
We're always going to have your back, man. Seriously. I know we might get a little glib and a little flippant, and, you know, we're not quite on the straight and narrow as much as you are with Eldath, but a choice is a choice.
That has nothing to do with it. He kind of looks at both of you, and he's like, you two have something that I'm not a part of, and it's not hard to watch, but I'm not a part of it. And to be suddenly just thrown into it as just a facade is, I don't know, it felt off. And I know I mentioned stuff about my past with this, but it was kind of the same way, because we were talking about the prophecy then and how I don't, like, Kania's son, and that's all that I had to go on, and it's quite possible it's not talking about me. I might have nothing to do with this whole thing. It might just be a coincidence that I was there at the beginning. So,
Yusuf, other than that image in a book and the gnomes, I don't think I know anything about you. And it's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of attempting to include. You keep to yourself. And that's fine. But we are in this. None of us really have a choice. I empathize with you there. I do. And I look down at Esvele. She didn't really have a choice either. We're all stuck. So the best thing that we can do is try to have some faith in each other.
He kind of smirks and he's like, Taslin, if you think I don't have faith in you, you haven't been paying attention. Or you. And he looks at Feder. He's like, the reason you don't hear much about my story is I don't have much of one. I was never my own person until I got to this world with the home that I had. And then that went away. This is my story. So
Feder's just like kind of looking out the window and just like nervously spinning a dagger in his hands. And you get the sense that maybe the reason he's very good at just spinning daggers around in his hands is whenever things get awkward. And I actually weirdly, I started doing this sadly with the small ceramic penises we all keep on our desk. And you get the feeling that perhaps whenever things got weird in the tower as Feder was growing up, he started doing this too. And he looks back at Yusuf and he goes, yeah, man, but here's the thing. Like, I want to respect both of y'all's ability to keep your stories to yourself and share what we can. I mean, it's been a couple months together, but that doesn't undo lifetimes of hurt and possible regret and things we could control and things we couldn't. But I just want to say, I feel like you're doing a great job of writing chapters to your story. Getting those gnomes out of there. I know it happened very quickly, but it's a big deal. Hopefully they're safe now.
And knowing things about you doesn't necessarily mean I have to know your background. Doesn't mean I have to know your story. It's always moving. But I get that myself and Feder run very counterintuitive to how you are. And there's been a disconnect since Lisa left. And I don't know if that's because you two were much more on the moral buddy train than we are. And I'm glad that you're finding some connection there with Feder. But I don't know if we can effectively be a team if you're not willing to communicate.
He kind of like slowly nods, and I've only really communicated well with one person, and he's not around anymore. So I guess I'm a little shy to do that again.
He like puts his Feder gets close and tries to like put a hand on Yusuf's shoulder.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ruin a moment.
Oh man!
But Allie on my lap just farted.
Dog farts for years.
This dog,
She's
dog farts for
what
years.
comes out of her ass is a war crime.
Dude, the look
She's
on
just
her
looking
face.
at me.
God.
She's so ashamed. You should be ashamed.
Like,
what
and
you
it
did.
hit me like mid. I was like sitting there going, dying, and trying not to be like, it's not about you. It really isn't. I'm not trying to ruin this moment. But I just got gassed.
Anyway,
So yeah, Feder comes up, offers a hand to put on his shoulder, and it's just like, for better or worse, you got us. Prophecy is a weird thing. Family obligation's a weird thing. I think we all know that. And we're going to figure it out together the way that we have been. We got your back. And if it's about the sex, I'm fairly open-minded. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
aware.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Was that too? I don't. Sometimes I joke when things are weird. Yeah. We love you, big guy. Seriously.
he looks at Taslin and he's like, I am sorry.
I am too.
You bring up a good point. It's probably better that we do rest. I don't know if this opportunity is going to come around again the next sunrise.
I know. I'm a very selfish multitasker, but I'm hoping that perhaps
I mean, I suppose...
we got to wander all over the city. I'm kind of hoping that she'll find us. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she did... I was told it would be on the path, but I don't... Maybe we could cheat. Do you think maybe we could...
Go to whose right now and crash out?
I mean, I wasn't going to even suggest that. I was going to say maybe we could ask some street kids to keep an eye out, and if they find one to...
Sure.
Maybe we could ask you could use your networking skills to maybe find... Because apparently they're just going to be walking around daybreak, so maybe that's a regular thing for this person. I don't know. But you're probably right. It's probably best to be rested. I'm tapped for healing aside from spells, and I'm only at about half potency magically anyway right now, so it's probably best that we get some sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to put you... Lord knows we have plenty of grand enemies on the wrong side of the Great Divide, and I'd hate to put us on the wrong side of a deity as well. But,
I slowly roll my eyes and I'm like, I don't have to sleep. Just get sleep. I'll scry for the person when it gets close enough to dawn and figure out where they are. Or attempt to. But I don't have to sleep. So.
Fair enough. I guess that's sorted. What about your leg? What
What about her? What about your leg? And what about her? Is she just like? I hope she's just like dirty sleeping, like just like just like
There's like a
tongue
little
out.
bit of drool.
drool from the half tongue.
It's a total like Anna from the beginning of Frozen situation.
Fully crossed out, like fully spread out.
I suppose, Taslin, what's your passive at for perception?
Perception 14.
14. Then roll a perception check. Feder, yours is like 1 billion or something. I think it was 18.
A passive perception.
Yeah, you're passive. Yeah,
Oh, he sees through space and time.
yeah. It's like,
Passive. John, did you say 18? My
I-
God, dude, you're missing
you know how long it's been? It's like
26.
26. All right, right.
26.
Your passive is a 26?
Yeah,
Yes,
fucker.
Yeah, you don't remember when we were like, he now sees through space and time? He
My
has eaten the
passive-
spice.
See, the listeners know this because they've committed it to heart because I know they know this. My passive wisdom perception check is a 26. My passive investigation check is also a 26. My passive insight is a 21.
Okay. Renoted. You would have caught this Feder then, seeing all through space and time.
I got a 19 for perception, by the way.
There is a deepness of. You got what?
19.
Okay. There's a deepness of sleep that you know if you're near someone who is sleeping deeply, and that deep breathing is not there. But there's kind of like this awkward trying to just stay still and be asleep throughout a very tough conversation that they have no part of, but they kind of woke into it, that you're noticing. And you're noticing that they're trying to be very polite about it. They're still trying to breathe like they're sleeping.
Oh, it's like waking up when the other person's
I
having
just-
sex
I-
in the room.
I take literally my middle finger and just like bap her on the forehead.
Fuck.
She can't talk, John. She doesn't have a tongue.
Well, fuck. She has a tongue, part of a tongue, so she's like, fuck.
But it depends on where the tongue was severed, whether she can actually form words or not. Was it severed far back? Was it severed front? Was it?
Well, there was some healing that had happened, so
yeah.
kind of mid. So then
Yeah.
maybe a noise. You just hear a noise, and she sits up very sheepishly.
Listen, I know that you and Taslin have a history together, but trying to deceive us, even innocently, is not a wise course of action for you, given how things are going around here these days.
Yusuf's like, yeah.
Esvele does look.
Why'd you wake her up?
She
already
wasn't. She
awake.
wasn't asleep.
Oh.
She nods to you, Yusuf, like, and then she kind of does a hand motion, just like, almost like talking this, and then not want to be a part of it.
Yeah, no,
And then
it's
she then notices the paper down there,
Yeah.
grabs just starts like thinking and scribbling. Did not know how to wake up during this conversation. Thought of other things as best I could. Line. And then shows you.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Do it. Let the intrusive thought away.
Drew, the microphone tastes so good.
But then she doesn't stop. She's like, she motions like, and then does some more writing and writes down for you to see. I'm not going to keep pantomiming that. I'm getting sick of it.
I mean, it's great sound effects.
Good
Yeah.
space work, John.
Yeah. She writes, need to tell you where false Lugarius is. Moon Petal. And then just like starts underlining that, like, and then like motioning in a direction where maybe you both have lived at one time, just like kind of,
Really?
and then just like
Wait, the king?
she circles
The
false.
the fake one.
Wait, so
The simulacrum.
so the zombie is not a zombie of the king, but was some sort of simulacra? Oh, so the real king is somewhere.
And she
Shit.
shrugs like, and then by now the sheet is just disgusting in terms of drawing, because now she's looking at you while writing it, and there's like
Listen,
apartment hanging, like she's drawing a scarecrow type hanging on like a post sort of thing, just like.
right.
So she strung him up, in your guys' garden. Mm-hmm. Because why would anyone think of even looking there?
Well, fuck.
So that's new.
Right. So should we do that and then fucking end up at a house? Or how are you gonna do? Are you okay? Maybe it'll be sunrise by the time, and you can.
I mean,
I hate to try to shoot the moon right now, but are you good? You got enough sauce for if things get weird?
I mean, yeah.
You good enough to move? And I look at Esvele.
She nods a bit and just she's now awake. She's had a little bit of a sleep to kind of tide her over. She makes a pantomime of being sore, but then reacts in pain as if she's a bit sore. And then just like, I can manage. She writes. And then kind of
like, that could have been a nod. No, you use the paper however you choose. That's fine. All right. Well, shall we? So we should probably grab any of the rest of our stuff that's here. Put it in the bag and get ready to go.
I mean,
right.
I'm still fairly hobbled, so
Yeah.
I won't be much help in terms of moving things.
Yeah.
Esvele volunteers. She gets up from the seat and just shrugs in terms of, hey, what we doing?
And again, I make the cane available to you.
Thanks.
All right. I think I remember how to get there.
Do you want to ride on Gallahan?
No, I have.
There's a quizzical like eyebrow raise from Esvele, like,
Riding large horse-like things I'm not fond of.
Fair.
Okay. Just figured it might be better than walking.
Boundary stated. I believe in it.
Yep. Fair enough. All right.
Esvele does offer to at least help with walking in terms of she just gestures like that she can kind of like, she's willing to help as best she can.
I hold up like the prestidigitacane and just like start shoving her with it, being like, no, get away, stop. Fine.
She nods and turns and just kind of waits near the doorway while you guys.
Yusuf looks at the piecemeal armor that he put together for the disguise and his breastplate and the full plate that he's now wearing, and he's like, do you... He had the dick in his nose.
I might have had the dick on my nose.
No one can prove it.
But he looks at Tassel and he's like, you gonna want this back anytime soon, or...
I'm sorry, I spaced out. What are you asking me?
He looks at the 3 sets of armor that he has in his possession now. His original one, the piecemeal one he put together for the mercenary disguise that he did, and the full plate he's now wearing from the Mysterium. And he's like, are you going to want this back anytime soon, or should I just hang on to it as our journeys progress?
Keep it.
Guessing he sees a slight twinkle in her eye that,
Mm-hmm.
like...
Oh, yeah.
There's a twinkle in your eye.
Okay.
There's also a, in the back of Taz's mind. As someone who's been very meticulous about their found magical items, has just seen their special toy given away.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a mental like middle finger happening.
That's why I asked. He's like, all right.
Esvele, can we... I mean, we don't have much, but can we armor you up?
She nods. She is more so like the armor does. How heavy is it? Is it like really big?
So there's a breastplate. What's her strength like and constitution? Like how big of a gal is she?
She's got a strength of 11, so no modifiers. Constitution is +2, so 14. So she's also a bit weakened from things, but I think she's more so like trying to figure out if there's something she can use with her hand. She's doing a Feder, you recognize this as like the search for a dagger.
So I will. And I was like, you know what? I should have thought of this, but
so the armor that I have is literally piecemeal. So it's just like pieces of just kind of amalgamesh of an armor set. So I'll take off like I'll hand her the bracers because those are
Sure.
pretty uniform.
Okay. Anything that would wear her down too much, she's probably not going to take. And she's as long as you kind of do that kind of partial like brace her some things.
Yeah,
she'll be
maybe
fine,
like brace her like a pauldron or two if she wants it. Like,
Sure.
Is she right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed, why not?
Okay, so he'll give her the left one.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll put out in front of her, and I said I should have thought of this, and sorry, things were a little hectic getting out there. The 4 daggers from the other chromatic, and I was like,
She does recognize them.
yeah, and I was like, feels like these might mean more to you than me, but I also like my toys, so you pick the 2 that you want. I'm keeping the other ones, and we'll call it even.
She goes over to them and takes a minute, and you notice this, Feder, and it's something you've done when picking weaponry.
Yeah.
This thing I recognize has a history to it. This is why I'm picking it. And you can deduce from this with your high numbers here that she's picking the blades that cut into her.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And it was just like, it was almost like split second, like, there it is. Grabs the 2 of them. Even passing by, just kind of pointing
which
like.
Which ones does she take? Just so I know which ones I'm keeping.
She takes I'll just use it based off of which Viper used it. Black Viper and blue. And she picks them up, tests their heft, spins them in her hands in a similar way to the way more of an assassin type person might.
Like
and the way
Riddick style.
yeah. It's not a perfect
freestyle dagger juggling battle. No, I'm just kidding. That's where that mini game cuts into the
Which was the Viper that we killed in the bath?
white.
the white.
The
So
white
I have
one.
the white
Okay.
and the red,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, white and red.
Okay. I'm like, deal. All right, so off we go.
She nods and even makes the briefest of noise, just attempting to test, like,
I just kind of give her a side look and tell her, as a bedtime story, I will tell you how we obliterated the white viper.
There is a smile on the face and somewhat sad in the eyes because there's a sense of comrade being killed, but at the same time, they also were torturing her. So yes, she is pleased.
I'll just so you're aware, we're working on finding someone to help you regain some of what was taken from you, but that's part of our weird little walk, so we'll figure it out.
She nods.
All right. I'm like,
I need
I
to
get
start
the
wearing a
sense that-
gas mask. Seriously.
oh, yeah. Oh, it's more dog farts. Yeah, I'm looking over. I'm like,
He's just like looking over, and I'm shaking my head, and it
I'm
has
like,
nothing to do with the podcast.
Taslin, character work, and it's just ass. Just dog ass work.
Just dog
I was
ass.
looking over there for character work, and I got
Nope, just dog ass.
all right.
Well, off we go.
Off you go. As you're leaving, you see Eloy monitoring the halls, walking through them, making sure everything's the doors aren't pushed. You don't push them and they open, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Doing her security diligence, she nods at you.
I'll pull her aside, and I'll just
Yeah.
be leery of the beauteous few or anyone from the king's retinue for the next few days.
Fair. Okay. I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you for everything.
No problem. And I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. I appreciate the bean water stuff. That was good.
Sure.
But also, and it pains me to say this because you guys seem very head on the shoulder sort of thing, but I don't trust my sister with you guys around. She hasn't been back for the rest of the day, but I don't know.
All right.
She could be taking an interest. She could be hearing things. So I hate to say you're not welcome here because I would personally welcome you, but definitely don't come back.
That's fine.
She says, and she strains to try and find a way to say don't come back in the nicest way possible.
No,
But given her more surly features, it just seems mean. And then she kind of shrugs, like, sorry.
I'll just say, all right, well, I'm sure you understand fully what'll happen if she tries to cross us outside of your inn, yeah?
Yeah, I'll probably have to work more.
And then I pull out one of my just mundane daggers,
Yep.
and I just say, if you ever feel like there should be a change in management, you just let us know, okay?
She smirks. Okay.
Yeah.
And then continues testing the doors. And it's basically just pushing her hand on the door to make sure that they are latched. Because if they are not latched, they are not secure. And checking all the rooms.
Yep. All right. Off we go.
And you make your way out. It is dark. It is late. It is fairly empty, the streets. And you make your way towards, remind me, Hoos?
No, we're going to the garden. We're going to Ligari, yeah.
The apartment.
The apartment.
Oh, the apartment. Right. So you make your way towards the apartment. And with Taslin's guidance.
And I want to, just because I know that they're not at 100%, we'll do the little zigzag thing. I feel like I've got that down. But when we get close, I want to take point and go ahead.
Well, to be fair, I think regardless of whether we do the zigzag or not, Esvele might be the better person to take point because she lives in these streets every day and
Sure.
not going off of memory.
Yeah. All right.
So,
And I was like, all right, I'm following you. I'm like, and I know that you know that you shouldn't do anything untoward right now.
She nods.
I just kind of sit there. I smirk and I'm like, she's very aware that as much as she's walking in front and leading us, she also has a big arsenal at her back. And then I just smack her ass and let her keep going.
She does a little hop and scoot forward and starts to do her thing instinctively. But before that,
before we left, I was gonna call Gallahan over and
have a rave. No.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna attach the stuff that we don't need to carry with us, like the other 2 sets of my armor and whatever else they want to send, and I'm just gonna have him go to the Mysterium and just hang out on the deck.
Okay. Remind me, does Gallahan, is he just full flesh animal, or is he like a spectral ghost in the streets kind of thing going on?
No, he's a physical form.
Okay. I suppose, imagine if he's traveling towards the Carnival Mysterio, he may walk by some just random youths, and if he looked ghostly, that'd be a cool story for them in their narrative of life. But if it's just a flesh and blood moose, actually, either way, it's going to be a cool story if they see him. That's all I'm thinking of.
Is he a moose or is he a stag?
No, yeah, he's an elk.
Elk.
Yeah.
Let me look at the spell description again.
Oh.
Find Steve. There it is.
This microphone, especially since it's covered in this purple cap, is very much forbidden candy.
Yeah, I think it was an elk.
It takes the form of a warhorse, a pony,
He's an
a
elk.
camel, an elk, or a camel. You can do a camel.
He's an elk.
Her.
Fuck camels.
She was so pissed. She got an epic mount last night
So one of the games that
on ESO
that Drew and I I played it on the computer when it first came out, and then so its first renditions were kind of bleh, but then this asshole got me back into it on the Xbox. And the way that they've changed the game has been really beneficial. It's actually very entertaining now. But one of the things that they do is you get crates, and some of their they give you things every day that you log in, and there's stuff this month, at least for the first week.
Yeah, the first week is 2 crates a day all week.
Pretty much. Not for the second day, but the third, fourth, and fifth, I think. So there's 4 days that they give you a couple of crates for free, and you have a chance of randomly getting a special card. And the special card could potentially be a really high ticket item. And you can tell what level of epicness or rarity or whatever based off
it
of
glows blue, purple,
there's
or
a
gold
glow
on the
that
outside of them
happens
when they appear.
And so he threw in an extra card because usually there's only 4, but sometimes you'll get a 5th one surprise. And it had a special aura that I was like, cool, this is probably going to be an epic mount. It was a really cool mount, but it was a fucking camel. And I was so pissed.
You have the option, you have the ability to get, it's called a guar. It's like a biped lizard.
Uh-huh.
It's like a frog
cat.
lizard kind of thing. Yeah, you can get a Sench, kind of like Shenzo. You can get
Like
a wolf.
a panther, a wolf, a horse.
there's stags in there too.
Yeah, sometimes there's stags. But the base 5 are dwar, horse, wolf, something else, and camel.
Camel,
Yeah.
okay.
And she can't stand
Yeah.
the camels, and she's gotten 2 of them now.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
So I have 2 camelids in my collections, which I don't fucking want. And
They're
like,
called camelids?
yeah, that's the plural of it, camelids. And so that's how they're listed in your collection.
Is
and
it?
And I hate it because like they've got like the trot of the camel down real well, like the whole like shoulder neck kind of thing.
Yeah, like, look at this
that's
asshole.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
I'm
every time it moves, she's
Yeah,
just like,
I'm just-
like that's the only noise that comes into her brain.
Yes.
Did you get the Sovngarde one? Is that the
No, it was
Meanwhile-
like a frost winter one. It looks like a woolly mammoth, but camel.
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's not.
Meanwhile,
I don't mind a hairy.
Sidetracked.
I don't mind a hairy camel. I'm gonna put a button on
He's
this.
even
whole thing
he's
with
even
Swing
got
and a
like a
hit.
little on either side of his mouth. He's got like 2
little
like
dongles?
braided
Little-
bearded like they're braided like little bearded dongles.
Sounds great.
sounds great. Is that what you summon? Or is it still just Galahad?
No. It is still an
no.
elk, but
Yusuf,
it is
summon your dongle.
so it's still the same
a great way to
form
put it.
of it's still the same form of that mount, but it's either celestial, fey, or infernal.
Okay.
So he's always been celestial. He kind of resembles the White Hart from that.
From Harry Potter.
No, he's not a
Patronus.
Patronus. No, he kind of looks like
Perturbed?
he kind of looks like the elk from Snow White and the Huntsman.
Okay. Cool.
Johnny
Just wait.
So
keeps
anyways,
putting the
Galahad
dick in his nose.
appears
Just
as an
wait
elk.
for you to look away.
Yeah,
and
so
then I do.
so Galahad shows up. I load him up with stuff and
Load him up.
and have him take whatever we don't need to carry
Sure,
to
sure.
the ship.
And then, Esvele leads the way. That's her thing instinctively.
As I see it headed southwest, I'm like, Hoos, it should go to Hoos. We're going to Hoos.
All I have
We're
is
probably not
just
going to the ship for a minute.
Well, it's stuff we don't need. I'm sending it there so we can.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the other 2 sets of my armor, so I'm not carrying them. And now the dick's in his mouth.
Hey, it's better than the image of cannolis that I have in my head. So
Holy cannoli!
All right.
Cannoli. So yeah, you make it to the apartment with, doesn't take you too much time. Then Esvele kind of stops you all and raises her brow, looks out.
I think we're having like a rogue off. Like I'm also trying to like.
She thinks she more feels like something's wrong. Whereas Feder, you kind of catch that there are 2 not cloaked figures with like the assassin like get up, just the traditional thing, standing at the door of this apartment, like looking around, kind of poking around the area. That doesn't seem like they know what's going on if this is the place, but they're looking for ways to get in.
Okay.
And she motions to you like, do you see anything? She kind of does that with her hands, motions a lot. She's
Right.
not quite used to not having access to speech, so this is difficult for her.
Right.
But you get the gist.
I'll point him out at a distance. I'll point him out to.
Does she know thieves can't? Can you guys talk that way?
Let me see if I'll try thieves can't hand signs with her, and see if she.
Oh, she immediately gets it.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, he
And then
did
it has
leave
this look
the
like,
thieves can't symbol in the apartment. So
yeah, and then has this kind of like the slump shoulders, like,
Yeah.
duh, like. She's not on her main game, but
No,
it
sure.
makes sense.
She's had a rough.
been
She's
through
had a
some
rough
shit.
one.
It's been a rough night.
Yeah. She was so much better at this. So then she does communicate with you, and we will use my words as the can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you see? What were how many?
And I was like, and then I'll say to these 2, and I'll sign back. Or your ears work. I was like, there's 2 assassins at the door. Do we
take 'em
distract
out?
them? Do we take them out?
She seems very keen on death.
Whose are they?
I mean, I could take
Do we
them
know
out pretty
the?
easily.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we know the like origin? Is there any? I mean, I'm they're assassins.
there any
so I'm
heraldry
sure
on
there's
them,
not
or-
any heraldry or marks or anything.
No, they're pretty nondescript, but since she knows something's wrong and you've confirmed it, she does get a closer look and is at least aware enough to see that they walk like beauteous few.
Oh, okay. I'm like beauteous view. I'm like, And I was like,
Walk without rhythm.
and I'll look at her, and I'll cant to her like left or right.
She says left. Or, yeah, she just, left.
While they've been talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
and like doing the thing, I've already like walked out and I'm headed towards the two.
And I was
And
like,
then you hear, then you see in just in a
I'm
huge can.
walking with her so that she has something to lean on.
I have my cane.
She has
I have
the
the
cane.
cane.
She has the cane, but also Feder in Thieves' Cant. You see, like, why do they never let us plan?
So
and I'm like, never. I was like, hasn't changed at all.
so click, click, click as you walk up with the cane.
So we both, what we're gonna like. and
I've got the hood down and the cloak around me.
I'll
so
look
that
at her and then and head off one way, and I want to like bonus action to hide, and then try to like get up and around with my movement into like a good position to like
Okay.
just kind of like hang out and like wait for Tazlin to do whatever she's gonna do, but get ready to chuck some daggers.
Esvele seems content to try to mimic your strategy, but just the opposite.
Yeah,
And so she does a pretty decent job. So
I like this gal. I mean, don't get listeners. Don't make friends with your partner's ex without having a conversation first.
I mean, she,
Or be like Feder and just be like, wow, we're friends. I have a rogue friend now.
I mean, she isn't really my ex. She was just obsessed and
Oh, that's
infatuated with me.
oh no, I made friends with your stalker. That's
Yes,
worse.
you did.
That's worse.
I'm obsessed with you.
boy.
She had a romance going on in her head, and that was the falling out. I was like,
right.
it's not actually
Oops,
a romance.
I misremembered that.
She like, oh fuck, I know. Do I? I completely forgot. Do I know that she's the one that set it all up?
Yeah, we figured that
You
out.
guys had to talk.
Yeah.
At the
On the
very-
roof.
That's right. That's right.
The
that's
very
right.
place that she's
Yeah.
hung Lugarius. Like strung him up. not
Because
hung him.
she
Yeah.
handed you the files there, didn't she?
She gave me the files about like everything that she had on Nax. Yeah.
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 So I'm walking towards these guys. I have, in the process, kind of like fluffed things up, unbuttoned a couple of the spaces in very particular ways, and am walking towards them a little off kilter, like purposely off
Okay.
kilter. Yeah.
And you're not making any sort of motion to hide or anything, so
Nope.
you're there to be aware, or
Yep.
to be seen. Okay.
Yep.
They do notice pretty quick.
I have also, like, it's in one of my hands, but I also have some oil, my little oil bottle. And as I get close to them, I will pretend to trip.
Okay. And there's the one that's closest to you out of the two who are scouting this area. They turn and just like kind of make some clicking sounds and come to you. The first one comes to you just to see what's up. You. What are you doing here? Who are you?
So I like trip into him and like
Her,
grab-
actually. As
or
you trip into her, you
okay.
find out that it is a beauteous few.
Okay. Yeah. So I like trip into her.
Oh.
And then I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And kind of like, I think I hurt my ankle. Hey, could you? And I like motion to the other person. Could you come help? Like check it out. And I'm like literally hanging on to the girl that I just tripped into.
Yeah, she seems annoyed, but then was like, oh, what is it? And she starts to move closer, just cautiously, like, what's going on? Why are you doing this?
And as the other one gets close enough, like I'll kind of grab her hand, and then with the other hand that I have kind of like wrapped around the one girl that I tripped into, like as long as I have skin contact, I'm gonna rub some of the oil on their skin.
Okay. You manage to, and this may be thanks to stuff like Esvele has told you over the time of her excitement of joining the Beauteous Few, of where the easy parts to do that would be. And yeah, you find it true to form. These are initiates. These are assassin initiates. They're fodder, so they have everything predicted. You could just, where to put it.
And I will kind of mutter something under my breath, and I'm casting suggestion on both of them. They need to give me a wisdom save.
Oh. Wisdom save. No modifiers. The one you're holding on to rolled a 2. The one coming up to rolled an 18.
Okay. So the one that I'm holding on to I say this to both of them, but only the one holding on to is going to actually follow this suggestion.
Okay.
So I quite simply say, nothing to see here, walk away and forget.
Okay. And immediately, yeah, seems like a dead end. And then just gets up, like kind of what is this? Who are you? And then just starts to head back. And the other one is just like, what? Wait, what are you doing? Who are you? Like, and she starts to like draw her dagger out to see what's.
Because I still have my hand on hers, like I tug her in closer to me.
Oh yeah.
And I whisper in her ear, "You should follow her and leave if you want to keep your life."
There is a tenseness or a tensing that you feel that, and you've felt this before whenever you've presented with a threat like this, where there is a defiance that she's like going to try something because she doesn't know better, and she's starting to like struggle a little bit, and then it's like start to
like
the blade can be seen that she's bringing out.
If the blade comes out, there's 2 daggers flying through the air at her.
I was gonna say, as she's like, I feel the twitch, and I literally am like, don't do it.
Yeah,
she is adamant. She's not going to listen to you.
I had readied an action to fuck her up with sharpshooter. Yeah,
you make your attacks, and as Esvele sees you making your attack, she's just going to anime run. No, she's gonna
Naruto run. Boom.
Believe it. She's going to scoot up really fast and make her attacks, if depending on how those go.
So this is a +8. So the 17 + 8 is 25.
That hits.
And then a natural 20 on the second one.
That hits.
So I'll take that. Was that the 25 with I'll take the -5 data. What is it? 10 points of damage to it on the top. So
yep.
Oh yeah, I love it. Oh, sneak attack damage. Come here, you sweet boys. Oh my god, yeah, that's pretty good. My god, I haven't had to do math in so long. 9, 10, 20, 27, 37, +4, 41 points of damage on the first one.
41 on the first one. Nice. Yeah.
And then the second one was the nat 20. So that's just a 7, 14 on the second one.
That's sufficient.
Okay.
So Esvele gets up there as the person falls with the 2 daggers, just, and she backs up like, okay. She had her daggers out ready to go, but you did so much damage that this one had no chance.
Yeah.
She goes down in a gargle.
Which one went down?
The one in your hand.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she falls. She goes down and just like.
Yeah. So as she goes down, because I spaced out. As she goes down, I'm just gonna be like, I tried to warn you, and I just step over her corpse as she's dying.
Esvele leans down, and just since she's downed and like gargling, she just goes and just like cuts the rest of the throat, and then just stabs a couple key places to finalize it. It's done, but she's letting out some aggression.
I whisper
cold and calculated.
I whisper under my breath, that counts as mine.
It's more so that she knows she's dead, but like, I need this. This feels good.
How close to dawn are we, John?
We're like 3-ish, 2-ish in the morning, so it's not quite there yet.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of, once the other ones kind of kept walking off, I'm gonna like swoop up. I'll get my daggers back. I'll be like use of a hand, and I'll grab like under one shoulder of the assassin on one side, and we'll carry her inside and shut the door.
Yeah, Esvele joins you, and yeah, you're back in your apartment. It doesn't seem too disturbed, and
as we're going to set her down, I'm like, should we take her to Hoos?
Yeah, maybe if we can fit her in the bag, but I don't know. I'm sure Hoos is probably eaten at some point.
I hope not.
And I will
all the people that are in Hoos are people we don't want eaten.
I know, yeah, but Fee's got ideas. I was like, my darling, may I borrow the cane just for a moment?
I hand it over and lean against something else.
I just like it's a very almost comical like door like quickly, like whoop, and then like, and I get all the blood off the, and then the door shuts, and then I hand you back the can. I go, thank you.
Esvele makes her way up, casually, cautiously, heightened from the small violence that kind of was like, ooh, kind of like back into the way of thinking of combat. But she makes her way up to go see if everything is still in place. What do you guys do?
It really is a shame that, because like I'm still chaotic neutral and it's not close enough to Dawn for me to like make a roll and potentially turn evil, but it's such a shame because like evil Taslin would have been like, could we cut that person's tongue out and like Frankenstein it
onto,
onto Esvele and then heal it? Like, and then we heal it and like there you go. She doesn't have to regenerate a tongue. We just gave her one.
Now I hate salted goods.
It still works the same way. If you have the limb and you cast regeneration, it instantly knits. Otherwise, it takes a little time and it grows back. But you still need that spell.
All right. So if I see her like getting too far up the stairs ahead of me, I'm just like rogue off. So I'm just gonna like be like, my passive perception's higher than your passive perception, and I'll just like
I'm just internally giggling as I'm watching this happen.
Yeah. She's heading up and she's like ready to go. And like,
I am the knight. And I just like swoop and just like,
I am the bat.
Swoop up behind her.
Do you do a little bit of like a wall bounce to get and flip
just like
to get in front of her?
Yeah, just wall run up past her.
She concedes it.
Well, this is happening.
She's not quite 100%. She can't like try to.
But yeah,
she's not too good at this one-upsmanship, but she sees the competition and she's
so
kind of.
So as that is happening, as they're going up the stairs, I just kind of giggle, turn to Yusuf, give him a wink, and then I disappear into mist and I show up in the top of the stairs before anyone.
And it's almost like two siblings racing up the stairs for dinner, and they're trying to like push each other against the wall as Feder and Esvele make it. Feder first, and then Esvele after trying to do her own copy of Feder's maneuver poorly. And then there's Taslin, and she just sighs and concedes and makes a motion towards the upstairs.
Yusuf walks to the staircase and goes, step, 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 just looking at them the whole time.
Man. It's a bad time.
And yeah, you make it up to the roof, and sure enough, among the kept flowers and garden that you saw before, a pole has been erected, and hanging on it, tied to it, is this Lugarius Bonham thing. Still wearing the clothes from the opalescent menagerie. Kind of like glazed a bit, but also perturbed.
Wait, so my brain is like, so this is...
Yeah, who is this?
No.
Lugarius Bonham? What?
So...
Lugarius is the king.
Lugarius? Right. But this is the one that was with us at the opalescent menagerie.
The one that you saw in the box seat.
Oh, and I was like,
the husk.
Yes.
Yeah. So
she was rushing out at the very end of that when you guys were dealing with all that stuff.
You know what? So this is on me, but I'm just so culturally used to like ghouls and zombies that I just assumed that was the actual Bonham. It never dawned on me that like this was another simulacrum. I feel so silly. It's almost like this is like I made like a dumb party faux pas, and I'm like I just figured out why not make him a zombie? But of course this is not the real king. Like, so where's the real king then? I heard the other Vipers saying they didn't know where Lugarius was, and I wonder if they were referring to this, or if they were referring to is this what got you nabbed? This little
Esvele nods. She, in Thieves' Cant, says, "This is what I got in trouble for. I was the last seen with him. Not 100% certain." And this Thieves' Cant is custom, so she's naming Aphrodite. So you just see Fair Mother. This Fair Mother I don't think she understands exactly what the deal is here.
Did Bonham make this, or what do you know of where the actual king is? Or are you just as surprised about this as we are?
Similarly surprised, she motions. At first thought he was real, but doesn't bleed the right way. And you see that if you get closer, you can examine that there are some nicks, as if
She tested it out.
she tested it out.
So, did you get caught because you were trying to make it artistic?
I got caught because I went back, and no, I got caught elsewhere. It was stupid.
She got caught elsewhere. It was stupid.
So not because of trying to make this art piece. And I just kind of gestured to
Well, it
him
sounds-
all strung up.
Well, it sounds like no one knew he was here.
Careless. Tried
Careless.
to get a sense of how things were going at Neil.
Try to get a sense how things were going at the Neil. Well, how are they going at the Neil?
She thinks a second. Doesn't appear to be going very well. Things seem locked down, but that's how I was caught.
Things at the Neil aren't going well. There was a lockdown, and she was caught as part of the lockdown. Could you get us back? I mean, I feel like we know one way.
She thinks. Not certain. She motions.
Yeah, but she's not certain. All right. Hey, Yusuf, what can you tell us about this bad boy? Don't you have, like, magical whatever powers or something?
What? No,
All right.
that's her.
Well, no, I mean, like, sounds good. Okay, anyway, we already know he's undead. I'll just do an investigation check. John, what am I looking at here?
I mean, I can tell if I'll do divine sense.
Okay.
Standard action until the end of the next turn. Sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. Is this thing undead?
No, but I think we've also established that simulacrums aren't undead.
No, they're not.
So no.
Like, I do have experience with simulacrums.
Well, wasn't it
just
giving
because-
us an undead aura at the? Someone got an undead aura from it at the
I thought that
Opalescent
was Bonham.
Menagerie.
I thought that
I
was
think it was
Bonham.
Bonham.
Yeah, that was
I don't know. I don't know
Bonham.
if that was like 100% pinged.
Oh,
as
maybe
him.
it's just I noticed something was wrong. I noticed something was wrong with the king. Maybe
Yeah.
I assumed he was undead.
Yeah. I think some assumptions were made, but yeah, you would see some telltale signs, Yusuf, if you did an investigation. I mean, you know, Zephina and her, Cheshire, not Cheshire, Chesterfield.
So my investigation was a
40.
well, no, I rolled a 24, but my passive's a 26.
So 46. All right, cool. No, I kid.
Ooh, can we add them? That would be
No,
great.
no, that's not how that works.
So what exactly are you trying to deduce from the scene? Because you see he is strung up, and he's tied up there, and he is awake, relatively calm for being abducted.
Are
and
they-
just among the thing?
Are the clothes? Do I get the sense they're the king's clothes? Like, is there a? Because like I feel like knowing royalty or at least people of a certain station, like
Wait, is he still dressed as the king, or did she change his clothes?
no,
to
he's in the
look like a
clothes from the
staircase?
He's still in the clothes from the
clothes from
yeah.
the menagerie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, are they monogrammed? Like in the inside coat or like on a hem? Is there like a monogram for the king? Like, is he wearing the king's actual clothes?
Yeah.
Or are these? So he's wearing the king's actual clothes. Like, what's in his pockets? I'm gonna roll him. Yeah.
He's got various baubles and like rings and things that
Yeah.
have some in his pockets, some in on his hands. He's got kind of the king's fancy wear for the night sort of deal.
Sure.
Some coins, some general wealth trinkets on him.
Well, I'll take all of that.
Yeah, and he stares at you. As
Yeah, while he does
and
it.
Weird. And the thing that's weird is that he's not protesting. He's staring at you and watching what you do. He's aware, but there's a lack, for lack of a better way to put it. There is less to him.
Was he not done cooking?
Investigation, Yusuf, or Arcana, one of those, depending on how you approach it.
19 on the die. Investigation.
Okay, so then
So
you're
21.
then you're-
20.
Okay. Then you're going up there and you're just inspecting him as you might have inspected with pride the simulacrums of Zephina. She wanted to brag back in the day that she made herself her own her own self as her own friend and lover. It was weird to you at the time, but like she was very proud of the work. Mm-hmm. And Chesterfield thought it was funny.
Was there a point before it gained sentience, or was it sentient when it was done?
It was done. It was ready and sentient when the spell was done, but it took a while for her to do it, you remember. And there had been failed attempts, ending too early, things like that. As if you're putting something together with bad instructions, or you get interrupted and you aren't paying attention and you put it over here. Suddenly your shelf is very bad. So there could be some element of that it wasn't done cooking, or it was cooked in a hurry.
Well, Bonham's made, 3 of these of himself?
Yeah.
That we've killed so far.
That we've interacted with. So is it...
No, that we've legit killed.
You've interacted with
but I mean,
3 of him, and you've seen 2 slough off in a specific way.
Right, but I guess what I'm asking is, from what I know of the creation process that she was going through and what we've seen of the ones that Bonham's made, was this one ended prematurely on purpose to make it more controllable?
That's hard to say. You would have to do an Arcana check on that. That part would be a little bit beyond your scope. The nature of your investigation would give you the sense that, if anything, there could be some hurriedness to the making of him. But other particulars, magically, that you're getting into territory where you're just doing a lot of guessing.
Hey, Taslin, blah. This is what I'm curious about, but it's kind of beyond my purview. I.e., I'm not trained in Arcana and my roll sucks.
23 for Arcana.
Okay, and so then walk me through again. You're trying to...
Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is, like, you said it was hurried. Was it hurried on purpose so that it would have this, like, so that it wouldn't gain a sentience and act on its own, so that it could be controlled? Like, kind of like a puppet?
Okay.
Like, is that why it's reacting this way, or is it not? Because, like, it's literally not a puppeteered thing. Like, when a simulacrum is made, it can become its own person. That's why she created a partner and it worked.
Yeah.
So was this made on purpose this way?
ING.
Is that why this guy's reacting this way? Because it was rushed? Or is it...
I think, and Taslin can communicate this with her help in Arcana, is that there is a sense of, like, controllability and just taking... ensuring that there's not it wouldn't make a lot of sense to make your own king, or a version of you as a king that would then make its own decisions.
Right.
So there's a sense of that.
Imagine you have made the simulacrum and then you have lobotomized it.
I'm not sure what lobotomizing is.
Enfeebled.
Oh, got it.
Half brain. Like, there's part of his brain, or what would be his brain, or whatever, that is scrambled, essentially, mush, as a way to make him more pliable.
Got it.
I was like, wow, did they not do that in Kenya? Because we had a whole guy for that.
No, was it an Elithid?
We just had
because they do that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Give
All
him like
right.
a sharp stick and just let him go at it. Anyway, so what do we want to do with this thing?
That was my next question. Can you understand me? Like, he asks him.
He looks over at you and, like, nods, furrows the brow, but nods. Makes him, almost, he heard the questioning inflection and nodded.
Hey, gang, if we had to get across the city real quick and didn't want to get noticed,
Exactly.
what if a naked, stumbling king was found wandering the streets of... I mean, that seems like that would be a distraction, right?
I mean, it would be, unless you're thinking of something else entirely, where we just bring him home, and that's how we get back to the castle.
Esvele does a snapping motion, trying to get someone's attention, like whoever's closest to her, probably maybe you, and motions to your hand to his chest. She brings her hand to his chest and kind of like pushes on it and like kind of makes a gross face, like I'm ew.
Yeah.
But then like makes a mention of you push on that.
All right. Well, I'll like open up at the front of like the not the like the top of his robe. You know, like the chest, or unbutton it and just see like what's going on with his like chest meat.
You notice furthering maybe the hurried nature of it, but like when you push against the chest, you feel like a sharp poke, as if something like a rod of something is like jammed in its chest, but not fully, like not put in there correctly. So you can catch an end of a rod of some kind in there, like, and you can even see it through some.
Didn't we
Yep.
found some rods in?
Yeah, we did.
All right.
We have 3 of them.
2.
2 of them.
Because there was a rod in the version underneath the cemetery
Yep.
that killed my bro.
And there was a rod
And
at the
then-
gnomes.
And then there was a rod at the gnomes, but there was not.
We killed proper Bonham.
There was not. Well, I mean,
the
that's
Opalescent Menagerie.
assuming that's proper Bonham, but there was not a rod in him.
Because he didn't like fall away in any way. He was just a dead body, right?
No, he disintegrated too.
Like
I thought he if I remember right, he did the like Avengers dust.
Yeah. He dusted.
Oh, that's right.
He dusts on Monday.
What are the rods made out of? Is it squirrel material?
That was like
No.
like a kind of a black Vanta black sort of like
Onyx.
just dense rod.
Yeah.
rod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, should we do surgery on him, alive or dead?
Do I
And
know?
You said I guess.
Was that a material component when she made her partner?
You don't even need a history for this, but no.
Okay.
Light side, dark side.
Well, no, it might be more of a control.
I'm going to very excitedly cut into this gentleman unless somebody stops me. Thoughts,
Esvele
feelings?
is like, yeah. She actually joins you and just
Wait, no.
and braces against, like
No.
braces him, and starts to like
No.
like, not no. she shakes her head questioningly.
Okay, what?
Why not? She motions to
He
pet her.
is alive and he's helpless.
I mean, really alive?
Yes.
Almost in a reaction to hearing that, she takes her knife and just nicks the side of his arm. No blood.
What? That's.
Yeah, he's wrong. He's half cooked.
Wait, because she had blood. Like she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
full fledged. Like,
He's a flesh golem.
wait a minute. We had found out that he was making them differently than they're normally made.
Yeah.
We still have the rods,
that
right?
was assumed.
Do you wanna-
not necessarily like not known for sure?
Taz, do you have the
Yes,
rods?
assumed.
Do you want to see if they're magnetic? You can hold them out. He was fucking with some necromancy or something, right? Like that was the Underdark fellas. Like
Right.
all the sad ghosts and shit that we talked to.
I mean, but he's not undead. But then again, necromancy is not like there are necromantic spells that are not meant for raising dead. I mean, several heal spells are from the necromancy school.
Sure. Well, do we want? I mean,
Question, John.
Yeah.
Does my, how the wonderful Waving Queen,
The waving queen.
Raven Queen.
Waving Queen,
Raven Queen.
That is her new entrance theme. Waving Queen.
Sung by Jem. Jesus.
My God.
when the Raven Queen gave me the whole.
Oh yeah, your sight thing.
Yeah, so I know there was one at the Neil. I know there was one at the cemetery. Am I getting anything from this dude?
No.
No.
And do a history check.
21.
21. Nice. This is good. I can actually give information. You're not getting pinged an undead thing here, but when you're thinking back to getting stuff pinged from the Neil, there was always a sense that going to the Opalescent Menagerie, there was something in that direction. And when you were face to face with the one that you stabbed on the theater box, there was a lot of that undeadness there with him. Mm-hmm. But nothing like when you were facing off with him, the king was still over on the other side. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. This still feels very like empty simulacrum. You're not getting any undead thing here. If anything, there's just not enough. Like-
Yeah. It's guys, it's pretty empty.
Like think Kmart simulacrum, you know?
From a simulacrum from Wish.
Off of Temu.
Yeah. That's the thing is like this is not a proper simulacrum in how you know it.
Fucking Temu.
in that this was meant to fill a purpose and rushed.
I think if anything, putting it out of its
It's
misery.
No, that's fair. I'm all right.
The Waven Queen will remember
the
that.
second
When she nicked it, did it respond at all?
No.
Okay, so here's the thing. The second Yusuf said "all right,"
All right, I
there's
guess that's
like
fair.
there's like it's like a full
He like literally
Feder
went all
goes
right
full
and-
Cuisinart.
yeah, just right
Like
down the chest
fillet
and then
and-
reach in to pull the rod out.
Nice. And yeah, I mean,
And I feel like there's a couple yanks. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't come.
God.
You might have to crack the rib cage.
I have a very low strength score,
You might have to crack the rib cage.
yeah.
but I'll do a sleight of hand
Is,
check.
is it reacting at all?
No. It's watching. Eventually, the light is starting to fade in its eyes, as if like there's enough damage that you've
Move
done
over.
surgically to it that.
I'll reach in and pull the rod
All right,
out.
go for it.
Okay. Yank it out. Because there's still rib cages and things in there, and they're a little less structurally sound.
We have to add a trigger warning to this episode, but I don't know for what.
Yeah, he yanks on it a couple of times. It's like 7, 9 on the last one, but straight up 21. He pulls it out.
Yeah, and then it starts to do the simulacrum death thing. I'm just kind of.
Is it that same Vanta Black rod?
Yeah.
Are they all the same dimensions, like same size, same shape, all that stuff?
Do you have him out? Have you brought him out? To
No,
Well, I thought, didn't you bring one out to see if it was magnetic?
Well,
no, he
I
asked, but I
and
didn't
you
actually do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, save the clothes, and then I just start like taking the clothes off and the boots and the things.
Esvele assists.
Okay.
Somehow, for some reason, like you two have become in sync in terms of just the rogue shit.
Poor guy.
I
And
it behind both of them and
It's like
just
when
like
Lance
rolling
Henriksen
my
died in
eyes.
Quick and the Dead. Everybody just went for the boots.
I'll split. I'll give her like the lesser of the rings and a couple bucks.
Okay.
And you need to text me, John, what I pulled off the king. What's this outfit like? Now I'm curious. I'll wear the
Is this like an
Now it's like the
emperor's?
Emperor's new clothes.
I'll
yeah.
wear the king
Yeah.
suit. Like I don't give a shit. What's this outfit like?
It's some decent going to a show robe. Maybe not the full regal
Robes, huh?
It's robes,
It's not really my vibe.
gold weave. There's a lot of richness in there.
But if you disguise yourself like
As the king.
this would, yeah.
there's
Yeah.
purples and blues. Your general
And then you can step on Yusuf's back.
Daddy.
so stuff like that. A basic king's go into a show robe, very valuable, but
Right.
Maybe more standard for something
Right.
like this. Like if you went to King's R Us and
Yeah.
God.
nice,
Oh my
nice,
gosh.
decent boots. Nice boots on this guy.
yeah, King's Warehouse.
Be like, who can detect? Is there anything magic on this guy?
Burlington Coat Factory.
They're more than great coats. There's rings. There's some coinage here.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a means to tell if it's magical or not necessarily, Feder.
Right.
But anyone,
do.
Anyone else might if they do it.
I mean, it'll take me 10 minutes.
Cast
got-
Detect Magic?
I got 10 minutes. Or do we want to do it at? We can do it at Hoos.
There's a quizzical look from as well as she just kind of ignores that, like she doesn't understand who's like what you mean. But
All I'm saying is, putting Kiki in the king's robe makes her like a very suitable candidate to be the new archmage, right? Huh? Maybe the shoes? I don't know. What?
SL is staring at you too, just like, huh?
You know what?
Chaos.
This
You
is
know-
like your vibe usually. Like,
It's
this
almost
is your
time.
thing
It is almost
usually.
time,
No,
Tazlin,
you
to
know
roll.
what? Oh,
You're starting to see a little bit of the time pass.
let's see. What did I get? What did I get? Ah, damn.
Still all same old.
You know what would be highly entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
Putting my father in that robe.
What?
I mean, he wouldn't be able to resist it. It's bright, it's shiny, it's expensive, it's the king's.
That's an insane idea, and I don't hate it. All right, here. Can you put this in the bag? Is it okay?
I like open the bag.
Oh, I'll put it in the bag, and I'll take the shoes too. I'm holding on to all the rings in the cache. I want to know what's on it.
Hang on. So we're gonna use your dad as a decoy as the king?
No, not necessarily. That's just a whole fucking ego thing.
Oh, putting them in the.
Trust me, you want to fluff them before you do
fold 'em.
anything. Yeah, yeah.
Fluff them before you fold.
Laundry. Do you know laundry? Okay.
Oh yeah.
That would explain
No,
so much.
I know laundry.
I also just kind of like look at Yusuf and like cup my boobs and like do a little like 1-2
Boink,
fluff and then
Boink boink.
Oh, place bit. Okay, yeah, I got it.
All right. Well.
He looks up and adjusts his horns and bends them out the other way.
Ugh. That's a weird party trick.
those aren't supposed to work that way, Yusuf.
Esvele is surprised.
Are you made of rubber? Is there something that you want to tell us?
He doesn't actually do that.
Oh,
He's medical grade silicone.
Do you use those to insert into people? Like, what?
That's more the noise that come.
All right. Well, no, he's not here now, so I guess side quest 1 of 3 accomplished.
Completed.
Oh, that was weird.
Does he like fall apart into like ectoplasm or what? What is that?
yeah, kind of the general goop of the simulacrums when they.
Yeah, instead of dusting, he just kind of like, slime.
John, was there a signet ring on him?
Sure. Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
He's so
Counterfeiting
excited.
some shit right meow. By royal decree and this ring pinky finger. Wow. Never want to be a microphone so bad in my life.
Same.
Right.
Forbidden candy.
Focus.
It's even squishy.
I'm just like, we need to go somewhere where I can use my forgery kit.
Guys, this is what happens when we haven't recorded or been around each other in like 4 months.
There's an energy, yeah.
All right.
Right.
I'm sorry, John. You're just getting like bare minimum nothing.
It's a bunch of horny children.
This episode,
So
this is the wrangling.
A bunch of horny cats.
wrangling horny cats.
That's this episode.
hurting tieflings.
All right.
Everyone's
so,
horny heroes.
All right. So, Yusuf, you're up next, I think. What time is it on the watch?
It's about 4-ish, getting there.
Well,
3-ish, 4-ish.
we should head towards Hoos. It'll take a minute, and if we're wandering about Sunrise, and it'll get us off the street, and then if you have to go backtrack or whatever, then you can do that. Is there a way we need to go?
It just said on the path, so I think it's whatever natural path we have.
Fucking god shit. I'm like, all right, well,
I know. I hate
Uh,
it.
do you want to lead the way to Hoos? What about her? Is she coming with? Sorry to talk about you while you're standing right there.
I mean, I feel like she has to because the whole reason Yusuf is trying to find this person on the path is so. she
Oh,
can
yeah,
have
I guess
tongue
you're right.
again. Don't worry. I just look at Esvele. Don't worry. You just stay here. We'll bring you back a tongue. No big deal.
It
Gross.
just tilts like, okay,
all right, off we go.
cool. You guys gather your things, make your way out of the building. Make your... God damn it. You guys make your way out of the building and start to head towards Hoos. And that's where we'll end this episode.
Wow! Heavy conversations and even heavier revelations. Once, I had a cousin that claimed he was a simulacrum. We all thought he was lying, but he pulled his arm off and it just kind of melted like butter instead of bleeding everywhere. So, yeah, sort of. Like our story, I guess? Anyway, this is where I leave you. Come back next time to get more story. Or maybe more of these amazing bullywug anecdotes. I'm not really sure, kind of off my game. In these demon days!
Waving Queen.
Sung by Jim.